It's at 70, 78 here. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Woke up and I'm hot, so my inside unit's running. Seems like my outside unit is not running, so I'm gonna grab some tools and see what we got. Much as I want to deal with this in the morning, it is going to be hot tonight, and tomorrow I go on my deep sea fishing trip.
I think that's my backpack.
What's that?
With the pins on it?
With the, I don't know, it just looks like it's like a...
Yeah, I got it in the Bahamas.
I'm leaving about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, so gotta get my happy ass up and grab the tool bag and see what we got going on. I know the outside unit's not turning on for whatever reason, so grab my tools and head out there, see what we got. Okay, so I know really I've got to trace down and see what the problem is. Could be a low voltage issue, I would assume. Something cutting it out. So I'm gonna grab my meter, my flashlight, and a 5/16 to open up the panel. And let's see what we got. I'm trying to be quiet so the neighbors don't think I'm crazy. Stay tank. Okay. We did have a tree fall on a power line earlier. Power was out for a few hours. Okay, so my board is illuminating some kind of, looks like an exclamation mark. Not too sure what that means, but before I touch anything, I'm gonna check for power. Okay. I want to see if I'm getting 24 volts. To my board. Go from common to red. See if I can grab a meter. And I'm getting 24 volts. To my board. See if I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call from my thermostat. This whole exclamation thing has got me thinking we got an issue with the board. So when we to see now is if we have anything to our contactor. Nothing to the contactor. So we got something cutting this out. Jiggle this around a little bit. Now I'm going to do a test on the pressure switches. So we've got low pressure switch. It's down there. Trying to get this where you guys can see. Probably need to get my headlamp out. Okay, so we got 2 amps. Or 2 volts to the low pressure switch. Volts to the low pressure switch. Okay, so I just went outside. Not too sure how good you guys could see it, but I have 24 volts coming from my thermostat to the board, telling the board to run. For whatever reason, it's not putting out 24 volts to the contactor. So I came back inside so I could talk to you guys, because you know it's so late at night that I don't want to be the weirdo outside talking to myself or whatever the neighbors might think. But also my wife's window, the window of the bedroom's right there. I don't want her getting up thinking I'm crazy, so I'm gonna go back out there and test the pressure switches to see if maybe the pressure switches is the problem. The board is definitely throwing some kind of code, so I'm gonna look at the back of the panel, see what kind of code it's throwing, and kind of take it from there. Okay, so our flashlight SC 5C. So I'm gonna look at the back of the panel here, see if I can find SC board anti-short cycle timer active. Okay, so looks like it's in a time delay. Definitely wasn't saying that when I got out here earlier. So 2 volts. 2 volts. Okay. Pull my high pressure switch off. See if we're getting any voltage coming out. Wish I would have spent the extra money to get the one that lit up, the meter that lit up, but we don't have anything coming out of our board there, which is expected. Okay, so coming out of our board and our high pressure switch is 3 volts, 3 volts, 5 volts, and same thing for our low pressure switch. So what that is telling me is I have a bad board. Wow. Gonna check from our Y1 out. And even our Y1 out is 5 volts. So this is telling me that we have a bad board. Wow, just my luck. I will be bypassing this and dealing with it another time. So how I'm gonna do that is as simple as me taking my YN, jumping out my orange to energize that reversing valve. Common should still be okay. And I'm gonna get the Y1 over to my contactor here. So I'm going inside, shut down power. So it's creeping up. Jeez. Would have woke up, would have been in the 80s. Okay. Power's off. We're good to go. So, let's see. Which ones are common? That's why I went out. And looks like that is our common. So I'm gonna pull that off of there. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. So one side of our contactor, run it back to common. On our board here, it's got a pigtail. Kind of looked out with that. And I'll just plug the common into that pigtail and plug it back to our board. I've seen enough of these boards go bad, do funky things. I'm going to jump out my reversing valve here with the red wire. we don't need heat right now. So this gives me plenty of time to fix this. I am bypassing all the controls, which I'm not a big fan of, but I'm gonna sleep comfortable tonight. Me and my family gonna sleep comfortable tonight. Let me pull my wire off. Need my needle nose pliers, but I ain't got time for that. I'm going to put this right to my other side of my contactor. Gonna be that side. Forget about it. Okay, so we should be good to go. We'll turn power back on. Try to tuck what I can, tuck it away, and deal with it tomorrow. Okay. So it looks like after doing that, the board's tweaking, throwing a high pressure 02 is pressure switch high. That's okay, because it doesn't know what I got in store. What I got in store is it's gonna run this unit whether that board likes it or not. So after our 5-minute time delay, we should fire back up. Okay. Got no fan motor. Okay guys, so I'm half asleep, but that was a good lesson learned for, I guess, all of us here. Can't forget about the high voltage feeding that fan motor, like I just did. So I bypassed everything, but I forgot to put the fan motor wire on there, which is that wire right there. Down there it says fan 1. So I'm gonna grab it, turn the high voltage off, so we're good to go on the high voltage. So I'm gonna unplug that and put it right to our contactor. Get some slack out of here. There we go. And I will be putting that right to the top side of our contactor here. Man, you guys can't even see what's going on. There we go. I forgot to put that fan wire for the condenser fan motor The unit fired up, the fan didn't, so it should be good now. Okay, we're back in action. I'm gonna take my happy ass back to sleep. Catch you guys soon. Okay, and I busted a sweat, but we're back in action. So the board was obviously faulty, bad. Something happened. I mean, we did have a tree limb or a tree fall on a power line on our street, which took out the power. And you know, the power, they restored it a couple hours later. Thought we were okay. Didn't really pay too much attention to it. Had a couple drinks with my brother and all that stuff. And but I fell asleep and I woke up sweating, which I hate sweating while I'm in my bed. So I had to get up, take a look, see if I could fix it. Something like that, get a temporary fix. This is what I did. Bypassed the defrost board, got it back up and running. The board was bad, and I can tell you that just based off of my experience. We had 24 volts coming into the board from the thermostat on the Y call. Coming out of that board should have been a series of 24 volts running through the high pressure switch, then the low pressure switch, back into the board, and the board spitting it out on Y out. And I tested Y out, tested the pressure switches, it coming out of the pressure switch, the wires unplugged, things were, you know, it was putting out 5 amps, 4 or 5 volts on those terminals. So just a faulty board. And I'm gonna do some more in-depth testing on it tomorrow when I get back from my deep sea fishing trip, and see what the dealio is. But for now it's running, it's okay. All the switches, pressure switches, are bypassed right now, which is a little concerning, but I will deal with that on a later date. So hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you soon. Peace and good night.